Well, hey there, folks. This is Chris McLean, Peak Performance and Transformation Coach, back with another episode of the Peak Performance and Predictable Growth Show, the peak performance show for creative agency founders, owners, and leaders, where we explore the agency journey from the unique perspective of those at the coalface of the industry. And my guests help unlock and dissect strategies, tools, and tactics from the trenches that are working right now to help you deliver better results for your clients and grow and scale your agency to 6 and 7 figures and beyond. It's my pleasure to welcome as my guest today, Mr. Chris Williams from Elite Agency. Chris's creative agency grows surgery groups in underserved communities. He also teaches a mastermind on how to scale creative agencies to be more efficient, and a mastermind on launching a successful mastermind in 8 weeks or less. He also has a Facebook group, Elite Agency Inner Circle, that's focused on sharing best practices for creative agency owners who are committed to scaling and or building their own masterminds. Chris, I look forward to going into everything mastermind. My absolute pleasure to have you here on the show. Thanks for dropping by.
Oh, Chris, it's great to be here, man. First of all, before I dive into anything, your intro says the coalface of marketing or the industry. What is that word?
The coalface?
Yeah, gullface? Is it G-U-L?
Coal, as in like digging out the coal, right? You're on the coal face.
Man, that's a cool word. I've never used that word before. Okay.
There you go.
I can think of so many places I can use it this week. Thank you.
Beautiful. Must be that Australian American. We start saying like they're digging out, may say like the aluminum face or something. That might be out.
For all of you in my audience, if you're listening right now, sorry, you're going to hear this word a lot in the next week or so. All right. So Chris, it's always great to talk to you, Chris. I just feel at home with Chris's. So
yeah, we're out there, man. So we got to connect. We got to support each other and stay connected. That's
absolutely.
Man, so take us.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you just going to dive into where we came from and how we got here. Would that be helpful?
That's exactly what I was going to say to ask. That was the question. Take us through who you are, how you got here, and where things are going.
Perfect, man. I keep cutting you off. I'm sorry. That's the easiest place to start, because for most of us, Chris, you and I know this, and I'm sure everybody listening knows this too. It's the journey that surprises us. It's never the end result that we think we're going for kind of back in the day, but it's the journey that really crafts and makes that thing really something special. And you find your place, like I did, Chris, as you know, on the journey. It's along the way. So when I started out, long story short, cutting grass as an 11-year-old. And I learned how to sell and market to next door neighbors as I was going around knocking on doors to cut grass. I didn't think I was going to become a marketing person or a leader. I just simply thought I got to knock on more doors and talk to more people. That journey informs the conversation, just like it does now for many of us in our done-for-you agencies, or for teaching and training and leading our own masterminds or whatever. It's the journey of hanging out with a customer and talking to that person and really seeing what they need. I've seen some of your other podcast episodes, Chris, and there's so much good information there, because you draw out that little nugget of truth that's in the listening and in the truth and the trust building and the pieces between the lines that really inform us as marketers and as leaders. How can we help that person, that market? Now, the way that's changed for me, and I would say the way that's changed for a lot of us over the past year or two, it's been kind of crazy, is that the world around us has been so noisy and so overwhelming and just, wow, blasting all of us 24/7 and all of our prospects and clients 24/7. It's our ability to stop and be in the moment and listen to what is the larger market, and then what are the individual people actually saying they're struggling with. Once I learned how to do that, Chris, like everything started unlocking for me, because I wasn't realizing, oh, I want to be like so-and-so, or build a website or a funnel or whatever, like so-and-so. I was learning, oh, no, wait a second. I'm listening to 10 experts, but the rest of the market, there's this group of people over here who are saying they want something, and nobody's helping them, or not the right person. And I know how to do that. And when I just stopped and literally this simple, took a Friday afternoon to grab a mind map software. I can show you mine in a second if you want. Just a mind map software or a whiteboard or a piece of paper, and listened and started making some notes and connecting dots, kind of like Sherlock Holmes, hanging pictures up and running pieces of thread around the wall. Once I did that, stood back, all of a sudden, it became blatantly obvious of where the highest profit point, lowest amount of my time, and most transformation for my client kind of work was hanging out. And that's what I started pursuing.
Yeah, well, love that process. Love that idea of just sitting back and listening, right? Sort of essentially listening to the market and feeling out. And I think, like you said, it's easy to assume that as a coach, whatever you're doing as an agency, as a coach, you move into a market that's saturated, right? And there's these massive players. Like as a coach, I might step in and go, well, Tony Robbins is coaching everyone, so why would I bother coaching, right? He's serving everyone. There's 1,000 coaches out there. There's 1 million coaches out there. Agencies, there's 1,000 digital agencies out there. Why would I even bother? So I think it is easy to have that perception of, well, everyone's serving everyone and there's nobody left, so why bother? Or I need to go in and I need to go really broad so I can capture as many people as I can. But I like what you're saying, that instead of doing that, sort of focus down, right? Narrow down and go, what's underserved? What's not being represented? And where can I sort of find that low-hanging fruit of somebody that's underserved that still has a challenge that I can solve?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You know, Chris, you mentioned that in some of the stuff you put out there, that you've seen that a lot of digital agency owners like you and me, we're like learning all the things we got to do. We're going out to the markets. We're communicating on 10 different platforms at once. We're trying to figure out how to do Clubhouse and Facebook Live and LinkedIn Live and YouTube Live and everything all at the same time. And we're working 16-hour days. And everything out there is teaching us how to do more and hustle harder and push up that hill. But I love your approach, Chris, because you're actually looking at all of us and saying, you know, you can do all this in less time, with less effort, with less heartache, and actually get your life back. That's one of those things. That's a great example of listening to a market. You see all the noise going on. You see what everybody's doing, but the outcome of that is that the market, the rest of us, we're kind of dying. We're melting. We're getting crushed under the pressure. And I love that you've seen that. And that's a really great example to the rest of us for, oh, I see the real heartfelt need here, and I know how to fix that. And all of us know how to fix something. How do we find that heartfelt need in that market space that wants what we got?
Yeah. Super important that you got to find that opportunity, but sometimes that means being really contrarian or going to the opposite end or thinking very, very differently. I mean, classic as that the Apple tagline always said, think different. A lot of the time that it is in that contrary place. It's that underserved place is generally underserved for a reason. And it's because most folks are sort of busy looking over here where they think the money is or where they think the problem is. But a lot of the time, the problem is a symptom, right? The big thing that shows up is symptomatic. If you can tease out what's actually the cause of that thing, that tends to be the thread of the real problem. And if you can find that thing and solve that, that's genuinely going to help people, right? That's going to actually help solve that bigger symptom if you can get to the root cause of what's causing it in the first place.
Yeah. Can I just get like insanely practical, like how to do that for a second?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's my iPad. If you're watching on YouTube, yay you! It is 3:16 on April the 5th here in the United States. The other Chris and I are obviously on opposite sides of the planet. This is my iPad. If you're listening, go check out the YouTube version of this, I guess. Chris, where if they're listening right now, how do they go see the visual version of this?
Yep, this will be up on YouTube, which I'll post up a link. I'll share you a link so you can share it out to the folks as well, and it'll be posted around Facebook and other socials as well.
All right, perfect. So for those of you listening, you might want to go look at this if it helps any. You can listen along if you're like on the way to the supermarket or something. So here's my iPad. You can notice on my iPad I have one app. Actually, I have two, I guess, if I want to be absolutely correct. One is the settings app down there in the bottom tray, and one is this app called Miro, Miro.
Love
Miro
Miro.
is free. Okay. I don't do affiliates and all that stuff. Don't have to worry about that. There's no link here for that. Don't worry. Miro is free. I actually have the free version. My team and I can interact on Miro. It's a virtual whiteboard space. Okay. I'm going to get really practical on just thinking through what you should be doing in your market now to have the greatest amount of impact on your profitability in the least amount of time in a way that you enjoy it the most. I'm really focused on that personally. I use Miro. You open up the app and it allows you to whiteboard. You can see this just crazy, stupid, insane whiteboard thing I got going on here. It doesn't matter what's written on all those little sticky notes. You can sticky note. You can see I can bring in YouTube links. I can box things and I can use arrows. I can color code. I can do everything I want in Miro. Here's the reason I love this. And here's the reason it helps me identify quickly what I need to do next. I go to a marketplace, the one I'm currently in or a new one I've got an idea about. And I just start listening. I listen to podcasts. I'll watch a YouTube video or two. I'll look at Facebook and LinkedIn and listen to some Clubhouse stuff. Do whatever I got to do to get out there and just understand what's going on. And I am just looking for what is it that these people want to figure out. All right. What do they want to know? And obviously, I'm looking in places that I can help. I love teaching and training. I love having a digital agency. I love being an expert coach who gets to teach people. I like those things. So I'm looking, obviously, for people that are in conversations about learning how to be a teacher or a coach or learning how to run a digital agency or whatever your expertise is. Look for the people that are talking about that. And I just simply grab the whiteboard app. And in one, I make 4 quadrants. You can see it up here on my screen. Okay, this is so janky. I love how we're doing this. This is a really good use of technology, right, Chris? There's 4 quadrants there. The quadrants are super simple. Okay, the last quadrant, the farthest one over to the left, the right, is always about the transformation I'm going to bring people. What am I going to do to help them? But before you get into the transformation, you got to take it a step back. The next quadrant back towards the left, third one over from the left, the next quadrant, next to last from the right, is very simple. It's the sales piece. How am I going to convince the people that what I have in that last quadrant is the transformation that they need? All right. Backing it up, I'm still listening to their conversations. By the way, nothing I just said has anything to do with what they're talking about online. I know my expertise and I know what I want to help them with. I got to figure out how to sell them my idea. But ultimately, it's the quadrant closest to the front of the line, not the very first one, but the next to closest one. It's all about nurturing. That quadrant next to the front, second from the left, is all about nurturing. I want to be in the conversation with these people. I want to let them know that they can get to know, like, and trust me. I want to be where they are. If they're in Clubhouse, if they're on Facebook, they're on LinkedIn, I want to jump in the conversation. Now here's the magic of this. I'm not there to stalk other people's Facebook groups or sell people in my own Facebook group or try to yell at people on Clubhouse and convince them I'm the expert. I'm there to build relationships. If you think about the coolest person in your neighborhood or in your workout facility, your gym, whatever, right now, the coolest person you know at your gym, your club, your neighborhood, your apartment complex, whatever, the one that everybody's like, that's a cool person. It's not because they're running around the neighborhood or the gym saying how great they are, how much they know about nutrition or workouts, or because they run around the neighborhood bragging about their new car or that their flower bed looks better than yours. It's because they're cool people. It's because they probably see you and say, oh man, it's so great to see you. Love those new shoes. They're there to build you up. For a lot of us, we start thinking about what market do I want to approach? I'm an expert in something. I want to go teach a mastermind, or I want to go have a high ticket coaching program or do a done for you service in a digital agency space. So I got to go convince them that I'm the best. No, you got to convince them that you're cool, that you're somebody there to build them up. And that is your big job and your big goal. When you do that in these online spaces, people will flock to you. It's not hard for them to stalk you and get to know what's on your website or on your Facebook group or what's in your LinkedIn profile and realize you're an expert at something. There's lots of experts in what you know how to do as well. They're deciding, who would I really want to spend time with? Who would I give an hour of my time on a Zoom call to hang out with and see if they can? I don't want to be on some Zoom call with somebody who's annoying. I want to be with somebody who's chill, like you, Chris. That's fun to talk to. I mean, really, that's so important. And I think when we make that subtle switch, so what I'm doing on my my iPad here, this Miro app, is I'm just writing down in the space that's next to the left all the ways that I can just hang out with people in those online spaces. I'm just brainstorming the heck out of it. So now I have my last block, which is here's the transformation I can offer. And then I have a block that says, here's the way I could sell them, maybe on a Zoom call, or maybe I do a webinar, or maybe I do a video sales letter, whatever. It doesn't matter. And it really doesn't matter. And then here's the most important block. Where are they hanging out, and how can I hang out and just add stuff and be cool? How can I cheer the market on? How can I tell them they're doing a great job and I'd love to help in any other way they need it, but right now you're just awesome and I love your shoes. How can I do that? And then that first block over there is just simple ways like, what technology do I need? If I'm going to hang out in Clubhouse and do that, I got to have an iPhone, not an Android, at least at this point in time. If I'm going to do Facebook Lives and LinkedIn Lives, I got to have a way to stream all that. I just got to make sure my technology is right. Once I lock those things in, that point where all the relationships happen, just being a cool guy hangout stuff is going on, I just start color coding things. The red that you see on here is just me making the links so I can see, where am I falling apart? I got to get people to a transformation. I got to get them in a place where I can build enough relationship to be able to sell them, which means I got to back it up, and I got to be cool in that community and just hang out and add value. And I got to have enough of a studio set up, a microphone set up or whatever, or a few scripted ideas or some content or whatever that I can drop out there. And I just simply indicate in red what is the simplest path through all those 4 quadrants, those 4 little boxes. And that is what I do. That's literally what I do. Oh, it's okay. I got to have an iPhone. I'm going to get on Clubhouse and I'm going to talk about creating your own mastermind. Let's say your own high ticket mastermind. Cool. Super simple. Quadrant 1 is done. I got to have an iPhone. Got to get on Clubhouse. That's the app I got to use. Great. That's the technology part. And I'm going to have 8 or so things I'm going to talk about on building a mastermind, marketing it, selling it, whatever. And then I got to go just hang out and be cool. I just got to show up and do my thing, right? Just add value. That's my next little red block. I'm moving them over. Then people who are like, I want to know more. Cool. I can help them know more, and I can show them what our transformational mastermind looks like. Anyone can do this. And the reason this is so simple for me is because I eliminate all the noise by making this little Sherlock Holmes map. I just simply put all the noise on the map. And then I run that little red thread through all the pieces until I find the simplest way for me to be like, okay, I see step 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I run that play over and over and over again and confirm I got a good idea. Once it gets monetized, then you can have somebody help you do it or outsource a bigger landing page or whatever. But we don't get caught up in all that. First, we just get caught up in the relationships and being cool and showing up and doing the work and helping people transform. Does that make am I
amazing?
Talking too much?
Yeah, no, amazing. I love that approach. Super simplified, and I love that idea of taking out the noise and then finding that vein of gold and literally just connecting that path of least resistance from how can I help this person with the stuff that I am great at. This is what they need. This is what I'm great at. This is the result, and finding that. I think that I really love that compared to a lot of people start with the platform, or they start with like everyone's on TikTok. So now I'm gonna go on TikTok because that's where everybody's at, right? But I hate video, so now I'm gonna have to force myself to do TikTok, right? And I don't have the time, and I'm gonna do 3 a day, and now it's confusing, and now I'm just doing it because that's what I have to do, right? Instead of looking at the market and deciding and mapping it exactly. I really love that, and Miro is brilliant. Miro is a really brilliant tool. We've used it for some education and training programs, and it's literally an infinite whiteboard space. You can just drop anything and everything on it. It's from Kanban charts, and
yeah,
really
if you
cool.
really want to geek out with Miro, I don't know if you realize this, Chris, but when you put a team on there, you can like see everybody's little
see everyone flipping around. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's so insane. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys want to get distracted and not do any work today? Go download Miro and start playing, and you won't get anything done.
Yeah. No, it's super cool. We ran a 3-week program with a university here for another business that I run, and there was 30 odd students flying around this board all the time. It was very amazing piece of technology for that kind of stuff. and like you said, free. But I really love that approach. Very, very different to sort of what I'd heard before and what a lot of people start with. They tend to start with the platform, and they sort of start with themselves or what they want to sell, rather than sort of looking at how can I take what I'm great at and what I do and kind of map that against a real problem and then find that path of least resistance. Yeah, I think that's really cool. And the other aspect I really, really love is the just go out, hang out, and be cool. So I think that is a piece that a lot of people also miss, right? We get tied up on organic, authentic marketing, right? So I'm going to always do authentic because it's a kind of a marketing strategy now, right? And you see the number of times you sort of see people posting the classic, what topic could you stand up and talk for 40 minutes? I mean, that post has been flying around every group on Facebook for the last year and a half. But then just people get pulled up on it. It's like, I'm just here to add value, right? I'm being authentic. I'm just here to add value. I'm just adding value. But here's a link to my program, right? Here's a link to my landing page. But it's valuable. It's valuable. I promise it's value. Yeah. So I think that distinction between just showing up and hanging out and being the cool kid, I really like that analogy. I really like that approach just to be. And that makes sense, right? That's how we, as tribal human beings, as socially connected human beings, we kind of go, oh, that guy over there is pretty cool. Go chat to him for a bit and then go, hey, no, let's go hang out. Let's do something. What do you do? And that's sort of how you build that relationship rather than the guy walking and going, right, I run a mastermind. Who wants my mastermind? It's only, let's. But that's what a lot of us do on social.
It's so true. It's kind of icky, right? It's like, oh, really?
But it's sort of how it happens. And I like that approach of just go in, hang out, be cool, and let people come to you, right? Let your personality do the talking, which I guess means you got to have a personality, but there's a personality for everyone, right? And I think that's something not to be afraid of as well, is to be willing to kind of step into your clumsiness and step into yourself and step into your foibles and step into all the stuff that you think is going to put people off. Generally, that's the stuff that's actually going to attract people to you. If you just show up and like, this is who I am, this is how I speak, this is my voice. Maybe I glitch out on camera sometimes, maybe I don't say the right things, but that's the stuff that's actually going to draw people to you.
Mm-hmm. It's so true. I think I love the piece of we're like designed, evolved, created, whatever view you want to take on any of that. We are who we are. And the cool thing about that is we're not the only ones like that. Like each of you listening and watching right now, you are specifically like a lot of other people on the planet. I know we all think we're perfect little snowflakes and we're all unique. And our cells are different head counts or whatever. But ultimately, there's a lot of people on planet Earth who want to know what you know. They want to crack the code you've cracked. And because that's become your expertise and your interest, believe it or not, the other people out there who want to learn from you probably have a very similar personality, a similar communication style, a similar cultural background. There's all kinds of things that probably line up for you there. And you think, well, I'm not like, you mentioned Tony Robbins a second ago. I'm not Tony Robbins. I mean, oh my gosh, his stage presence is incredible. Sure it is. But he attracts a certain type of person to his high ticket end goal program. And he doesn't attract a lot of others. So don't be pro or con another leader or competitor in your market. They're doing the right thing for their people and the ones that attract them. You go out there, be yourself, and attract your own audience. It's, the eHarmony type, dating apps. I love dating apps. By the way, Jill's my girl out there. We've been together since we were 17 years old. We've been married for 22 years now.
Wow.
So I'm a lucky one that I'm in a long-term gig. But the friends of ours who are like kind of restarting different parts of their life like that and are doing the dating apps, they're fascinating because it just shows you that there are thousands of people they could match you with. And it's just, I hate to say it this way, it's an algorithm. There really isn't one person for one person, the soulmate concept. It's science, and we are like a lot of other people. We're typically like 6 to 12% of the world's population that we get along really well with. So get out there and be yourself. All that to say, no matter what platform you decide to get into, if you like Clubhouse, if you like Facebook, if you like LinkedIn, if you like Twitter, if you like Instagram, whatever, I promise you, there's a lot of people that are going to be attracted to you on any platform you pick. Just be where you're comfortable. Talk about what you love to talk about. Be yourself. And when people start leaning in saying, hey, can you tell me more? Ask them for the freaking offer. Ask them for the deal. Tell them, yes, I got more. Would love to have you there.
Yeah. I think that we sort of touched on it earlier, and you mentioned it again then, but I think that is super important to do something that you pick a platform that you actually enjoy and that you're good at. I think, again, we sort of touched on, there's so much distraction. There's so many platforms. There's so many options. There's so many things that you could do that we get this paralysis of analysis and go, well, I've got to do YouTube and I've got to do this. Now I've got to do video, right? I've got to do 30-second dancing videos because that's what everyone's doing. That's the thing. But I hate video and I hate presenting and I don't have a great camera and I don't want to do video, but I'm going to do video because that's what I've been told I need to do. If you hate video, but you're amazing at crafting witty little 30-character tweets, go on Twitter. Like, there's millions and millions of people on each of these platforms. You know, find the one that aligns to you and how you communicate. And I love what you were just saying. You will find people that resonate with the way that you communicate on the platform that you communicate on. Yeah. So it's very easy to get distracted and want to be everywhere and be all things to all people and want to be on all platforms. But yeah, I mean, I find myself doing it as well. It's like, oh, do I try this? Do I try that? So I think it's important to try things out and find the thing that really resonates with. I love communicating like this.
I do too.
Like for me, video works well. I love the podcast. I love sitting here and just chatting with people and having the show and sort of going deep and having these conversations. So for me, this works really well. For a lot of people, this would be horrifying.
And that's okay, because the people they're attracting probably are more, oriented towards a quieter, calmer, maybe more written approach. I love video, love being live. Jill, my wife, does not. And she is a writer and she is a reader. So if you're attracting her, it's going to be in writing, not in video. If you're attracting me, it's going to be in video or audio. I can't hardly read at all. I'm horrible at it. You just got to go with your people.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we have audiobooks and written books. Sometimes I'd love to read a written book, but sometimes I'll be out walking and I love to digest it on an audiobook. So I mean, for the same person may then also have different variations on their learning style.
Yeah.
So you can still target a whole lot of people with one of their learning styles, right?
Absolutely.
So everyone's not sort of binary. They're like, I only read, I only read the written word. I never listen to anything or watch video. Yeah. Really, really interesting approach. So just to get into the mastermind aspect, so I think that this is sort of where we're leading to. We want to attract people. Take us through the power of mastermind. So from one-on-one, having a one-on-one conversation, to building tribe, to building communitas and community, bringing people together that have that affiliation, that love that thing, bringing them all under one roof. What is the power of that mastermind of curating and building that place for people to come together and think together?
Chris, when I first kind of got this mastermind concept in my head, because I get to lead a mastermind now. So before that, I was actually in a mastermind, and it was a high ticket mastermind. I paid $30,000 to be in a mastermind. Okay. With a collection of other entrepreneurs who owned digital agencies or were experts in their digital marketing field. And we paid them money. Here's how masterminds work. We paid the money to be able to sit under an expert's tutelage for a year. All right. We could be with that expert, go to their classes, show up to several live face-to-face events, and do a lot of, Zoom type calls. And I realized I'd purchased a bunch of online courses before. I'd purchased one-on-one coaching before. But I realized for the first time ever, like on the second session of that mastermind, oh my gosh, I thought that the person that I wanted to sit under, like the leader, was going to be the best thing about this group. Turns out the best thing about this group are the other people in this group that are super serious about learning. The leader was amazing, but I changed and transformed because of my fellow cohort members. They changed me because they were leaning in on accountability, other great ideas. They'd ask a question I hadn't even thought of asking. They'd been down the line in a dozen different areas. That opened my eyes. All of a sudden I realized if I want to really have an impact, if I want to take my expertise, I can do it for people, or I can teach them how to do it. All right. So we've all heard you can give a person a fish and feed them for a day, or teach them to fish and feed them for a lifetime. I realized I want to have a bigger impact. So I still to this day, still have a done for you agency. We do the work. Some people simply don't want to learn how to do it. Nothing wrong with that. They don't have the time or effort or whatever. But we focus a lot of our effort on teaching people how to do the thing. So that's transitioned into us actually teaching a mastermind on how to have your own mastermind. So if you're an expert, a true leader in your field, if you've figured something out, if you've cracked a code, if you know what to do and you know people want to know how you do it, what's happened is we're able to just quickly, over a month or two, put people into a sequence where they can attract and monetize and then bring that community together where you can have the transformational power on the people you're teaching. And Chris, the cool thing about me now that I get to lead a mastermind and all the people that we get to teach how to lead a mastermind is we all get to realize that I'm just not that great. I'm not everything there is. I'm not the guy with the coolest ideas. But what I am is the guy who gets to plan a really cool house party. And I get to have really cool people over. I get to hand pick them, and I get to put the best dinner parties together and put other experts in the same space that get to learn and grow. They get to share ideas and clients. And that's what any of us, if you're listening in, you're teaching a mastermind or heading that path, yay, you will see people transform around you like nothing else. Here's the last thing I want to say about that, Chris. I didn't realize this until I got into it. And then I started asking other friends who do masterminds too. Like 25 to 35% of the people who want to go through your mastermind will end up hiring you anyway to do the work. So if you're a done for you agency and you do marketing for other people, having a mastermind and teaching your people group what to do won't cut you off. 25 or 35% of them will pay you more than ever before to have you do it for them, because now they really know that you're the real deal. They paid a lot to be in your mastermind group. Now they're going to pay even more because they're like, that was amazing. Obviously, you know what you're doing. We don't have time. Can you just do it for us? It's the coolest thing ever. It prospects for itself. It just leads that whole value ladder, and you're really teaching people how to fish. I think that's a cool thing to leave behind,
Yeah. I think that's really powerful. And that, I said, if you can find that group of people that essentially the same type of person, they're on the same mission, they're trying to get to the same endpoint, and they're at different stages. And I found the same thing myself in sort of group coaching, mastermind situations. Mm-hmm. You do learn a lot from, love what you said, somebody asked the question that you never thought to think, but thought, that's the question that I wanted to. I didn't know that I needed that answer, but now I've got that answer. Learning from the group is that truly is the power. But then also having someone who can sort of energetically lead that group and curate and hold that space for that mastermind to happen, I think is also really, really important. It takes the right type of leader to sort of control that energy and can sort of somewhat set the stage for that mastermind to operate. Basically to create the frame, right? And so this is the space for that to happen in. That certainly is a skill set that would be valuable to learn how to hold that space for people. Is that sort of what you help people do?
Oh, absolutely. We definitely teach that because that is a critical piece. And when I did my first mastermind, it was pretty messy. And I realized, it doesn't just happen. So once we kind of learned how to do that, though, and cracked the code on that, Yeah, we transfer that on. We pass it along because it's a transferable idea. Knowing how to lead an effective mastermind group. There's like three main stages in mastermind building. There's the marketing and attraction / sales piece of it, right? You got to find the right people, show them that you can help them transform, and help them make a decision to start. All right. Then you got this middle section, which is the actual delivery of, okay, we're going to cover 12 weeks or 24 weeks or 6 months or a year or whatever of content. And we're going to dive in together and work together. That's the piece you're talking to right there. Just how do you lead that group? It's really easy to do. You just got to follow a sequence and a step set. And then there's the third section, which is kind of really exciting. And unfortunately, most people start with this and don't even realize they got it all backwards. It's using and reusing all of this mastermind content that you just taught live. You can take all of that content, and now you have the most amazing sales blueprint to resell that in an online course of some sort. Most people start and build their first online course. I did. I built 5. Oh my gosh, Chris, 5 online courses, 5. And I spent over $100,000 marketing those online courses. And I sold one $2,000 course to some random dude off of an ad. $100,000 to ads, a $2,000 course was sold, and the dude never even logged in and looked at it. Complete failure. But I was building online content in a vacuum. But when you're bringing people in organically to a mastermind training where you're getting to be their leader, and then they're paying to be there live with you in a group setting, you're proving the concept. You're actually getting paid to build online courses. That's what the people, when I was my first mastermind, the other members in my mastermind I was a member of, they're the ones who showed me that, like, oh my gosh, Chris, you got this backwards. And I was like, no way. Why don't we all 5 years ago? Come on.
I got 5 courses ready to go.
Yeah, dude. You and I could do with an extra $100,000 right now. Where were you?
Yeah. Really. Again, a lot of people get that wrong. They go out and they build the course that they think they want to deliver. But as you said, a lot, and I've done the same thing as well. You go out and you put all this effort in, and you do all your videos, and you set it up, and you hit go on the launch, and no one shows up because you haven't figured out that does anyone actually want to buy this thing yet. Yeah, very similar to that simple process that you ran us through earlier. Make sure there's a demand first, and then you can build a course pretty quickly off the back of that. But I also really like that mastermind approach where you're setting yourself up as the expert, as the leader. Then off the back of that, once you've done that live training, you can turn that live IP and all the stuff and all the systems and everything you pull out of that. And probably does this happen? I'm sure that this is the way that happens. You probably end up building a course that you never knew you would have built in the first place.
Oh,
because
yeah.
you sort of work out stuff in the mastermind. You go, that's what it is. That's the thing. That's the thing that worked. If I'd put it together, I would have said, well, A is the thing, right? This is the thing that works, but actually it's Z or X or some other random combination of things that actually is the thing that resonates and works.
It sure is. And that, when I first started this conversation with you, Chris, today, I remember I was mentioning kind of that it's the journey that informs the final outcome. So for those of you who are like listening or watching and you're kind of not sure, where am I in this journey? And do I have the right idea? Do I have the right audience? Is this the right thing? What if I have to change it all again? It's okay. Just keep moving forward and change as life continues to happen around your idea, your agency, your expertise, whatever. So when I started the mastermind, I had built my 4th digital agency, and I work like an hour and a half a week, Chris. So I don't like to work a lot. I like systems and people and delegation. So I figured that out, right? I love my job. I just like figuring out how to be more efficient. So I read The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. So many of us have read that, but nobody takes action on that and does the work. I was like, I'm going to do this thing. See what's up. I went from 16-hour days down to ultimately what is now 90 minutes a week of work. And when I did that, all of a sudden people started asking me, how are you doing this, Chris? Like, what are you doing? How are you have so much time and money? How are you traveling? What's going on? So that's what let me know I should build an online course. All right, just taking you through the progression here. Failure and successes all the way through. So I started building online courses, built 5 of them, all failures, right? Then somebody told me, you got to have a mastermind. So I started teaching a mastermind on how to build an effective digital marketing agency and grow it and scale it without being stuck in it all the time. Cool. In that mastermind, more than half the people who went through that, who were digital marketing agency owners and experts, asked, hey, Chris, how did you build this mastermind? How do you market it, monetize it? So we built a mastermind to teach people how to build a high ticket mastermind. Now you see the progression there. I had no idea when I was running just a digital agency and we market to surgery groups and rural communities in the United States, that building a mastermind to teach digital or coaching experts how to create a lot of income in a little bit of time in a group training those are so disconnected.
Yeah.
But it's the journey that we're on that informs the best ideas, not the first idea that pops in our heads. And I was listening to my market as I grew. And Chris, I don't know what I'll be doing 3 years from now, but I am 100% sure it won't be what I think it might be today, because it will continue to evolve. I've learned enough in life to know that.
Yeah, love it. Love this conversation. There's a lot of stuff in here for people to tease out. So go back and watch this a few times if you need to, or listen a few times. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we've covered, but yeah, really interesting, really insightful, and great stuff for people to tease out, whether you're in your agency journey or coming at this from somewhere else, looking at other ways to monetize your knowledge, or just looking at how do you find your market? How do you make sure you're targeting the right people? A lot of stuff you can pull out of this. Chris, if people do want to come and find you, they want to connect with you, where's the best place? We've got a couple up on screen, but for those that are audio files, where's the best place for them to come and find and hang out with the cool kids?
Super easy. So all of my social media handles are Chris Williams HQ, ChrisWilliams HQ, like headquarters. So Chris Williams HQ. But I tell you, the best place to go if you're a Facebook person, just jump into Facebook and find me on Chris Williams HQ. I lead a Facebook group that's free. You gotta ask to get in, but we'll let you in. Just mention Chris's podcast here. And we just answer questions about all the stuff we've been talking about. There's no selling, there's no pitching. Nobody's allowed to pitch in our group. I don't even pitch in our group. We do live Q&A with experts 3 times a week in that group, just to make sure that you as an agency owner or an expert are learning how to do the stuff we're talking about here. Build your own mastermind, be more efficient, whatever it is you want to do. If you find me on LinkedIn or Instagram or wherever else, Chris Williams HQ is the way. I'm just not as faithful at being in those other communities because there's only so much time in a day. So reach out and shoot me a message and we'll get you in the group. And again, ask your questions. Chris, if I've learned anything over the past year, 18 months, as just another human on this cool little rock that's floating around our solar system, is that we are all in this together. We cannot win without each other. And I can't express how much of a privilege it is that I feel every day. This is going to sound so silly, at having a free Facebook group that just shares ideas and what's working. That is so silly. Oh, a Facebook group, who cares? No, for real. It's because we're together. We on this planet, and as marketers and experts, stuff works and stuff doesn't. Let's just get it out there. Let's talk about it where our clients can't see us hashing out the ideas. Let's get after it. And that's what we built that group for. It's really amazing. It's cool to get to hang out there.
Yeah. Love it. And the more people can come together, mastermind, get that mastermind effect of exponential growth and exponential thinking and just different perspectives, the more that you grow as an individual and the more the mastermind grows and the more everyone benefits. So love what you're doing. It's really is an amazing group. So go hang out with Chris, go check out his lives. He drops a lot of value. I know we've run almost 45 minutes. We were going to do 20 minutes, but hey, we've just done 2 shows in one. So
can I say one more thing? Is that okay?
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Now
please.
You just said we're running out of time and I want to take more time. The fact that you're listening or watching to this right now means that you found Chris, right? The other Chris, the Chris, the cool mustache. If you only listen to this freaking podcast, you got to go find some video and see what Chris looks like. It's genius. So anyway, the fact that you found Chris is important. Let me tie this into what we just talked about. You need to go and learn to lead your own community. You're an expert at something. Go learn to lead that. Build a mastermind, do whatever you want to do. The fact that you're listening to Chris right now, lean in on what he's got. Go to his website, listen to the other podcasts, look at his YouTube channel. He has an enormous amount there for you. And I know he does one-on-one calls and coaching and all kind of cool stuff. Like if you can get a moment of his time, here's what I've learned when it comes to hiring and experts. And by the way, Chris and I don't do affiliates, no commissions, no nothing. This is just me shooting you straight. You can struggle for a year and listen to podcasts and watch the YouTube channels and read the blogs and try to hack it. Or you can spend an hour and just get the answer and move forward. It is better. It is better to do it that way. You have a lifetime to make a buck. You have 1 minute to live the next 60 seconds and it's over. Your time is more valuable than anything else you've got. Your time builds relationships. Your time builds an agency. Your time builds an expert coaching model. Your time does all of that. You lose your time, you're done. Stop where you're at. Identify the expert you need to lean on and lean in. I do that. I know Chris does that. Do that. It will get you farther ahead than anything else you can do.
Amazing. Love that, Chris. Yeah, that's the way, right? It's the accelerated path is to find someone that's been there before you and pay them to help you get that. If it's one step forward, it's still going to get you that step forward faster than if you try to figure it out for yourself. That really is the only hack out there in the world, is to find somebody who's gone before you that can say, look, just don't do that, do this. That'll get you there faster.
Mm-hmm. So true, man. Thanks so much for letting me hang out with you and your people. Like, I love this. You guys are all amazing.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate you coming in. Appreciate your kind words and the wisdom that you've dropped here today. And I look forward to, I believe that we'll be swapping seats in a couple of weeks, and I'll be hanging out with your people. So
can't wait.
Looking forward to that.
Absolutely, man. I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah. I'm stoked for that. That'll be amazing. So if you're Chris's people, I look forward to seeing you over there. For my folks, thanks for swinging by. As always, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you coming here and hanging out with us for 45 minutes. Really appreciate Chris for coming by. A lot of wisdom. Go check him out. Go join that Facebook group. Join the Mastermind. Go hang out with the cool kids on the cool kids table over in Chris's group. Chris, pleasure. Thanks so much for swinging by. Well, I look forward to catching you again in a couple of weeks and staying connected. Thanks, everyone, for dropping by. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.